Boom, boom, boom. Return to Roots podcast and MIL2VET team. Today we bring you the veteran HUNDO team to talk about what is the HUNDO Club and what is their mission and vision and how they are helping solve all the problems when we're talking about suicide, homelessness, VA benefits, and everything that we currently face. Without further ado, welcome to the live stream, the HUNDO Club.
Yeah, brothers. Hey, thanks for coming on here, man, and hanging out with us. Hey, everybody that's listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, I want you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, and stuff like that. So, hey, thanks, guys, for listening. What are you guys up to today, man? What'd you guys do today?
Having a good chat with you today. With you both. I'm working as always. That's the highlight of the day.
Yeah, it's been a great experience this morning for sure. Good talking to you guys.
Just helping individuals and clients as well, and individuals who need help, and veterans, and so forth.
And so for everybody, our audience out there, today we brought the entire HUNDO team, and well, not the entire, but some of the key figures that were able to come onto the team for the podcast. And that's why Chris brought up that question. We have been recording with them for a little while, and we're having a blast learning about what the HUNDO Club is, what it's doing, how it's working, and we're going to keep on moving forward in helping our communities grow. So, Ed, can you share with the audience who are you and what role you play within the team, the community?
Okay, so I'm Ed Finch. I'm the Vice President of HUNDO. My primary role, apart from being Vice President, is also as the lead coach. So I am an exponential coach, been coaching since the 1990s, and trained with Rich Litvin, who's one of the world's top coaches, trained to be an exponential coach, which basically we look for not just ordinary results, we look for exponential results in people, or helping people achieve the seemingly impossible. So my role is helping Chris as the president to do that both for the organization and for our veteran members. That's in a nutshell what I do.
Joe, who are you and what do you do for the HUNDO Club?
Well, my name is Joe Arnold. I'm owner of Veteran Lighting. My position with HUNDO is I am the public relations officer for the United States, and also one of the trustees for the HUNDO Club to help with our 501c3.
Perfect. And Raymond, Chris, the other Chris. Some call him the Space Cowboy. Others just call him Mr. HUNDO President. Who are you and why are you here, my friend?
My name is Raymond. I'm president of HUNDO Club, United States Veteran Charity. I am the chairman as well. And I'm here to share whatever information to help the veteran community if they need any assistance. We're still in our infancy phase. We're still in our development phase, making sure our infrastructure is here, but we're still helping veterans as we're pressing through our organization to ensure they're taken care of on a holistic scale.
Can you share what is the mission vision of the HUNDO Club?
The mission is to basically serve the veteran community, and on a larger scale of that, the vision is providing comprehensive resources to empower veterans to a higher existence, using our nine realms of wellness. So we rebuild them from the ground up, making sure they're prepared for the civilian world, with disabilities or without disabilities. Our dream or vision is a world where all those who swore to serve their country and Constitution and have a way to continue to serve in their capacity as veterans, allowing a new era of veterans to simply recognize by their deeds and their abilities to commune within their social network and betterment of society using our educational system.
Yeah, we had the privilege of recording with Ed, Joe, and Raymond, and then a couple other brothers that were part of the 100 Club, and it's pretty good. And those episodes are going to be released later on. And if you want to take a look at our schedule of who's coming out on the podcast, you could actually go to our website, which is MIL2VET.com. And you could go to our calendar and you'll see all the scheduled released episodes. So, hey, brothers, like what was it that like kind of got you to create the 100 Club? Like, what was it that, I mean, Chris, it came from your thought process on, I need to solve a problem. And you went to Ed and Joe and other brothers and you formulated it. But I find that usually when something worth merit is created, it comes from a place of need. Usually somebody struggling with something. What was it, Chris?
I was struggling trying to find an answer for my VA claims. That was, I looked into the CFR 38 Part 4 myself. And having a neurological disorder where conversion disorder with motor deficit automatically gives me 100% disability rating, minus the facts of post-traumatic stress disorder, major depression disorder, anxiety, lumbar, physical issues, whether lower back, etc. Yet every organization I went to, they didn't get me results. I ended up getting results myself. I had to solve the problem myself. So I went to 4 different organizations. And they all failed me. And even though my case was open and shut, closed, it's literally, yep, there you go, boom, closed, done. That was it. And that tells me that there is a problem that is in society. If that cannot be solved, there is a serious problem in society. So like anything, there is a problem, like somebody's wronged in some way and goes about to solve it. That's very, very straightforward if they have identified that problem. And it actually expanded out into realizing this is not just a VA problem or a disability compensation problem. This is a holistic problem. This is totally different.
And with that, you chose to take action to not only be part of the problem, but to fix the problem, right? Why? You already got yourself taken care of. Why do that?
Because I know the other ones aren't working. The other solutions aren't working. Whatever's going on in the world, those solutions aren't effective. There's effective and efficient, right? So the way we designed our system is effective and efficient from the ground up. We literally spent months cultivating and ripping apart documents and ideas and concepts and kicking them back and forth until we found the perfect, flawless design that empowers not just the individual, not just the veteran, powers the organization and powers the person providing the service. So for example, let's say Yogi, what is something you're an expert at and you enjoy teaching? Podcast? Let's just say podcast, right?
Let's stick with podcasts.
There we go. So you're an expert in that, and then you want to teach the next generation of veterans, right? So you can have your own individuals teaching other individuals what you want to do. So you become an officer, let's say in our organization, right? So you're able to to get your own NCOs, your own warrant officers and everything, and say, okay, listen, this is what you want to do. You want to better the future. I want to better the future. And then on top of that, so now you're helping the veterans. You're educating them through podcasts, right? Now you're helping the organization so you can pull together and we have a common source to be able to assist each other. On top of that, now if somebody wants to hire you, they can hire you, right? So let's say you did private shows, or you did a special trip, and hey, can I hire you to get on a plane and come to Ecuador and do a one-on-one? Of course I'm gonna have to go in my pocket for that, right? You're not gonna come out of pocket, right? So there you go. So that would be an example of being able to fulfill those three vital roles that no other organization has been able to find a solution for.
And I know we talked a little bit about it on our individual podcasts, right? But amongst y'all, what would be the number one advice? And we'll take turns going. We'll start with Joe. What would be the number one advice you would give to um, any person that is about to join the military, and how to prepare before they join the military to be successful through their military career and their transition?
Well, joining the military, they need to know that the fact is that they need to document anything that happens to them. Absolutely. When they come in, they need to keep their records, stay organized, because that's going to be very fruitful when they do get out. Try to stay, physically fit, to be able to be focused, to, get the most of them, the most out of their military career. Have a focus, have a end game. Why are you even joining the military? What are you hoping to get out of it? Or what is it what need is it filling? Because you're not just going to go just to go. You need to go ahead and, for me, it was I needed some stability for my family. So that's why I went in. But, everybody has their own reasons. But looking farther when they get out, they need to have all that documentation and have a copy of that for the DD-214, their medical records, everything else. So then if they have problems, it'll be easier for them to go ahead and do their VA claims. They'll have all the documentation. Plus, someone needs to be there for them when they get out as well, so they know, okay, this is who I need to talk to first. You need to talk to a VSO. You need to go ahead and have a plan and have that support wait for you, because right now they don't. So, but that's my point of view, from start to finish.
Beautiful. Ed, what about yourself from your experience with dealing with the group, the veteran community? Because, Ed, you are a veteran advocate, right? And you are helping develop this team. What advice that you have run into would you give to our veteran community to be successful?
So I pick up on that.
Yeah. So you're good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So advice to be successful. Joe said a lot of it so far, and the thing is, people going into military are young, and young people, generally speaking, are still at the beginning of their life, and there's still many things to learn, and they're still finding their way. If I was to ask people, and I have, of our age, what is their mission in life? What's their quest in life? What's their goal in life? They're still not sure. If you ask an 17, 18-year-old what's their goal in life, they haven't found that yet. So one of the good things is we're building a huge organization. We're building a huge network. We're working with strategic partners to bring together the collective knowledge of all veterans and all active duty. Just tap into that network of people, tap into that community, talk to as many people as you can, because there's older, wiser heads out there, and just listen to the people that you can respect and find out what their knowledge is, find out what they can share with you, because there is so much knowledge out there. There's so much good advice and support out there. and become part of a bigger community. You have the camaraderie when you're serving. The thing that's been missing is that huge camaraderie when you leave, and it's like a dropping off a cliff. That's one of the big things we're setting out to change. That's what needs to happen. Is we need to help people right from the beginning. So before you join the military, expect military life to be tough, because it is. Expect to serve your country. When you come out, public respect you for serving your country. The other thing that we're working with others to change is that you're not just respected for the time you spent serving your country, but you're respected for what you do after you serve, and how you serve the community, and how you serve your nation after you serve, with the skills you've picked up. As Joe was rightly saying, have a plan, have a strategy. Make sure that you're going in knowing what you want to learn, what skills you want to learn, and don't just leave those in the military. Take those with you and enhance them, learn more, get more skills, and put those to good use. And whatever you come out with, whatever condition you come out with, know that there are organizations out there who are going to help and support you and make the best of your life. And you've got a long life ahead of you. So make the best of it and continue to serve your country. Continue to do that, because you'll be highly valued. And most of all, you'll value yourself. And that's really important.
Wow, beautifully said.
Yeah.
And then Chris, the other Chris, the president Chris, we'll go with that. What advice would you give? You know, I know we went very in depth during our podcast about the advice that you would give yourself if you could go back in time, and also the advice for transition. But now, as a civilian, what advice would you give to our veteran community to take action and be part of the solution and not be part of the problem?
So I'm gonna steal something that it wasn't created by me. It was actually created by Chris 2.0. We have the other Chris here.
That's me.
Yeah,
The 2 is for 2.0.
MIL2VET Chris. They got Hundo Chris and then MIL2VET Chris. So we got MIL2VET Chris. He actually said something that stuck with me and I can't get it out of my brain, is to be your self-advocate. That is one of the most important things that you must do, is you have to be an advocate for yourself. And every organization out there hasn't hit that point. And that's something that really stuck with me, is that I want Hundo Club to be an advocate. That advocate to that person, that shadow step, that person, that little good guy on your right shoulder, right? That's coming next to you and walking you through and saying, hey, don't do that, do this, don't do that. And learn from the 18 million veterans that are out there, right? Learn from the 3 million military members, the 1% that are out there. You know, we want you to succeed as human beings. We want to lift you up. We want to see you grow. We want to see you succeed. You know, why do you think we have universal educational systems? Because we want everyone to better themselves. That is a community, and that's what we're trying to advocate. So, Chris MIL2VET, I'm sorry I had to borrow from your line there. I think you were on a vacation trip with your family in Hawaii when you said that one. Am I right?
Yeah. I was at Lahaina. We had just drove right by Lahaina, and I dropped him off at a beach that was over there. It's not part of Lahaina. It's just like right next to it in Maui. And I was walking back, and you know, that just, I keep hearing over and over again. And I've been telling people over and over again, you got to be your own advocate. And us as senior, you know, myself as being a senior leadership guy, I was always an advocate for my junior personnel. I was always an advocate for my junior officer. I was an advocate for my brothers and sisters that served right along next to me. but it was harder for me to be my own advocate. And one thing that I've learned through this process is that you have to speak up and advocate for yourself, because nobody else is going to get your back on ensuring that you have all your benefits taken care of.
That's where we come in. That's where exactly we want to come in, is we want to be that solution. And you hit something that's why I stuck it. That's why I said, Chris MIL2VET, you hit a PowerPoint that I just had to steal. And I'm giving you the credit, man. I'm giving you the credit. Okay. So, but yes, that is a solution we're trying, and that's the person I would want to tell the next person is be your own advocate. Buy Chris 2.0. Make sure to be your own advocate, and Hundo Club is there to be that advocate, supporting you, to get you to become your own advocate. So that's what I would say.
Oh yeah, and that's what's so amazing about the Hundo Club is that you guys are advocating for people. Did we talk about how many members they have? Did we ask that question?
We did not. But as Chris 1.0 El Presidente said, it's not about the numbers. It is not about the people that are out there. It's about making a change. And at the end of the day, once we're up in the gates of heaven, if you believe in that sort of thing, or whoever your maker is, answering to that and being there to show the results, not just to um, talk about numbers, statistics, and stuff like that. It's about making a difference. Am I correct, El Presidente?
You could nail them in the coffin right on the coffin.
Yeah. Do we nail the hammer with the nail again? Just curious.
So yeah, if you break it down, you strip all that mathematics and you focus strictly on that one person and that one person's problem, right? It doesn't matter the numbers, because the numbers will come if you're able to stay focused on solving that problem, right? Well,
and I want to highlight that you guys have had a major impact in the little amount of time that you guys have been in your beta mode. And that's a big impact. Even if you had helped one veteran, you guys have already made a change. 2 veterans, you got something really going on. You guys are in the hundreds of veterans that you're already helping. So that's nothing to say, oh well, we're not doing enough. You guys have already helped out, and you guys are just going to continue. It's going to compound. So I just wanted to point out that they've helped out hundreds of veterans thus far. Members are coming on. It's your opportunity to get in with the Hundo Club and be a part of a change. And you could, honestly, it's like almost becoming a plank owner of the Hundo Club. And I feel like getting in right now is the best time to do it, because these guys aren't just doing a social media feel good stuff. No, they're out there in the trenches and they're helping people out. They're making phone calls. They're caring about them, and obviously they can't make awesome things happen for you if you don't put in the work as well. But they're out there helping people out. Man, you guys build websites. You guys help them with their business plans. You guys help them with figuring out housing. You guys are helping in so many different ways. And this isn't just a handout. This is a let's push you up to the next level with a lot of lessons learned. So that's really awesome, man.
And as we talk about during the individual podcast, right? Um, the vision behind this is to be a repository of resources, right? Being able to go to one spot. And the reason why this podcast exists in the first place is because, both Chris and I, as we were going through our transition, and we were hanging out, we saw a massive gap also of being able to, well, we've I've been in the Navy for 22 years. Chris has been in, or he was for 20 years, right? And we saw this massive gap of all these organizations, and we learned that it was 66,000 in the United States, 66,000 nonprofits and profit organizations dedicated just for the military. And out of those 66,000, we maybe knew 5, 10, very low numbers, right? Just here in San Diego, where we were both stationed at the time, it was we knew maybe of two, right? And then one of the first ones that we learned about, which is the STEP uh, program foundation, and which I highly recommend. We'll put you guys in contact with right after this, in the San Diego Veterans Coalition, which again we'll put you guys in contact with. And we learned about those organizations, and we were mind blown with the how did we go through our entire military career and didn't know about those organizations. And it took essentially Chris to start getting out, right? I was not in the mindset to be able to do that. Chris started actually networking for the both of us, thankfully, and because otherwise we would have been stuck. And then he started sharing the resources, and we said, well, what if, or how can we help share this information of all of the organizations that we're running into, right? And then one of the biggest problems, and you've mentioned this, Ray, and also Joe, you guys mentioned this, as service members, we have a huge, not necessarily a trust issue, but we are in always on guard with organizations whether or not they're going to be um, good for us and whether or not we can trust them, right? So with that, we're like,
Yeah,
well,
if they're
how can
legit or
we
not, absolutely,
exactly, exactly, they're legitimate or not, right? Or if they're just
yeah,
trying to take advantage of the service member uh,
absolutely.
and their benefits, right? So with all of that, we're like, well, what can we do? How can we make a change? And we started with the podcast, right? We, go an inch wide, a mile, or they told us, well, what do you want to do? Go an inch in and a mile wide, or a mile deep and an inch wide, right? What does that mean? How do we want to cover all of those organizations, and how do we want to vet them, right? Um, so I say all of this because you guys are doing the same thing, and you have the same mission, just to a different scope, right? And to bring awareness to all our listeners out there that there's, yes, from the perspective of on the civilian side, there are so many organizations, so many opportunities, and so many things out there. But if you don't know where to look, or if you don't know who to trust, you cannot trust anyone out there, because you will be taken advantage of. You will lose your benefits, whether it's your GI Bill, whether it's your VA loan, whether it is whatever other benefit that you can name. So that's why we're so hesitant about reaching out for help. So this is, from what I see and from your mission and your vision, is a way to make sure that organizations are properly vetted, properly taken care of, properly organized, and also having the right person for the right job to be able to volunteer and help out to make everybody successful. Am I correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be my goal as a public relations officer, to reach out to all these organizations, and verify that they're legitimate. I mean, like I told you before, when I first, got in touch with Chris, I was on the fence, but I researched them in order to see, okay, is this just a fly by night thing? Is it a scam or whatever? And then I realized it wasn't, and I'm so happy I did it. But if I went through that, yeah, and then we went
Sorry,
through all
man.
these other veterans
I had
as
the same
well.
thoughts, man. I'll tell you that. No, you're good, bro.
Exactly,
You're good.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's
it's
the
one of
thing.
those things. It's like we have got to screen all these organizations that say, "Oh, we're for the veterans," but then they're a scam, and then make it one spot, one stop shop. More or less, come in, and you're going to get the help from the organizations that are out there that are legitimate, and save all that worry and concern and stuff like that, and know that you're being taken care of by veterans. That's the biggest thing. You know, it's basically going to be all ran by veterans as much as we possibly can until we get it eventually all filled by veterans. So it's veterans taking care of veterans. Who else is going to know each other better, right? I mean, that's just the way it's going to be, and it's just a great vision, and I think it's going to definitely help a lot, you know, for sure.
And for example, what you guys do is infallible, infinitely invaluable. Excuse me, infinitely invaluable. Why? What you guys do is return to the roots, right? You guys get down to you guys dig all the way down. You find out, are we a toxic organization or not? You guys find out what's going on with these people. What's right? You guys go all the way in. You guys separate people, have different meetings separate of each other, so that way nothing can be actually, and you guys can understand inside and out, right? You tear apart the entire organs and to figure out, okay, what is this organization about, right? You guys did that with us. You guys know if we're clean or not, right? And so what is it? My point is that we are going to lean on organizations such as you guys, MIL2VET, Homefront podcast. We're going to lean on other organizations to say, yeah, go with these guys. These guys are clean. We already know you guys already dug deep and shifted out what exactly they do and if they're positive or negative or toxic. You know what I mean? So you guys are doing what an exponential things for us as well. And it's you guys have no idea the amount of hours it saves for our leadership members to shift through that, because it basically becomes like an investigation in a way, you know, a private investigator in a way, right? You guys are doing a phenomenal job, and I love what you guys did with us. I loved how you tore us apart, each limb and part. So, you're right. We had 5 members come in, right? And you guys said, well, hold on, we're going to have 30-minute segment with each one. Let's take the left arm away from the right arm. Let's take the head away from the legs, and let's see what's going on. I loved it.
So I just wanna in this. Now we probably shouldn't go down there. I was gonna say which one was which arm and which one was a leg, but we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, trying to start some good sportsmanship, huh?
Yeah. Of course.
Hey, listen, we're not going to get started with anybody else. I was an Army guy. We can really start throwing the gloves, drop the gloves here. I was an Army guy. Where's my crayon eaters and stuff?
Right. Yeah, we love our crayon eaters, man. We used to stand in line.
Wearing my sheriff's hat to make sure that this doesn't get out of control. All right. So let's relax. Let's relax, okay?
We used to. I remember on the boat, man. We would stand in line, form a line, and then the Marines would come up and line up behind us, and then we would just get out of line. And it would be like a closed door right in front of us, and it's around chow time, so they would think that they're standing in the chow line. Then we would get out, and then they'd just be standing there like, what are we in line for? There's no line. There's no line. Like, because our chow lines would get like, think about it. Our galleys usually under the main deck. And then you got, sometimes there'll be like 5 levels, 6 levels high of a line, up the ladder wells and everything of people standing in line. So we definitely used to mess with the Marines that way, man. Shout out to those Marines that we tricked into standing in a line. Yeah, no, I love the rivalry that we have, but then like quicker than flies the crap, we are right back with each other, and we got each other's back, and that's something that is really hard to re-find as you transition. You're going to find yourself missing that,
Yeah, it's okay. The army guys are paint sniffer marker guys, people. So it's okay.
You said it. We had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. But
For the
yes,
record.
thank you so much. Yeah, we're really doing some really great things together. And you guys got any awesome more questions? I loved how you really hit a point there, Yogi and Chris 2.0 about I love it.
I'm gonna remember this. You order something from this, I'll make sure it says 2.0 on your shirt. Like, oh, I'm going to intercept this one, make a special artwork for it.
Well, listen, I'm gonna take a donation and make you a custom shirt. Next time we meet, I'm gonna say Chris 1.0.
Like, Chris keeps avoiding my phone calls for some reason. So you guys have an amazing program, right? We talked about this. What does it cost?
Mr. VP, you want to take over?
Yeah, I'll pick that up for you if you like. The key part for us is that our attitude is the cost has already been paid. Men and women have already served their country. They've already given, and they've given up to and including their lives. So the price has already been paid. As an organization, we're transparent, and you talked about the trust thing earlier. We factor that in. We put a lot of planning into our organization. We're transparent. We're a democracy. Everything is voted on. Even as president and vice president, we're not controlling the company. All our members vote on all the important decisions, including how the money's spent. Our overheads are extremely low. Now, what we managed to do, by the way we've put that into the planning, the way we've got this organization, it doesn't cost anything to join. It's free to join HUNDO. It's free to join our organization. And there are no charges there. We're trying to keep this as free as possible. We're going to have two organizations. We're going to have the 501c3, the non-profit organization, completely free membership. We'll have the HUNDO, Veteran HUNDO Club. So that one will still have the free membership, but it will have two options for paid membership for those people who want additional services over and above the huge amount that we're offering for free anyway. So some people may want additional. If they're in a position to afford some additional services, it's completely optional. You can have free membership. You can get all the benefits that are there, and it's a lot. We are very transparent. As soon as we get money coming into the organization, and particularly through the 501c, we know we're going to get very good donations coming in. That money is, unlike most voluntary sector organizations, with all respect to them, that money is not going into our pockets. That money is going direct to veterans. And how's it spent? That is up to the members. The members decide how the money is spent. We've got the overheads. We're transparent about those. We publish all our costs, which, as I said, are low. We publish those, make those freely available to all the members. We'll make them publicly available as well. So anything over and above that gets spent, and it's decided on by the members. So this is something that doesn't exist. I've been in the voluntary sector for a very long time. I know how it works. I know how they cover their costs and how they can publish a set of accounts that look one thing and do something else behind the scenes. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We tell our members exactly what's going on. Our members decide. They vote. Chris, El Presidente, and myself, we're here to start the organization, and there's going to come a point before very long where we put ourselves up and we say to the members, do you want us to continue, or do you want to vote somebody else into those roles? We're not creating jobs for ourselves. We're creating jobs, opportunities, futures, lives for veterans. That's what we're here for. So no, there is no charge to join us. The charge has already been paid. You've paid by your commitment to your country. You've paid that price. Let us do everything for you, and let our community and the leaders that we've got provide the training, the support, and the education, the camaraderie, everything else you need. And yes, some fun. We've got to have fun as well. We've got to have plenty of that, so that we plenty of everything available for everybody. Anybody else want to add to that?
Sorry, I had a sneeze. Yeah, the cost. I mean, just like Ed was talking about the VP, we've already paid our dues. It's just like our VA benefits. A lot of our veterans are not taking advantage of that. They think, people shun them because, why are you getting benefits? You don't need that and stuff like that. But we've earned it. And if we have ailments, we're entitled. We should be getting it. And just like this here, that's our focus. You guys are entitled to have this type of support. The veterans have already paid their dues and everything else. And this is something that should have already been in place, but now we see that it wasn't. So now we're going to take care of it. Of course, veterans have to see it. Veterans are going to have to take care of it. It's just the way it is. That camaraderie, brothers and sisters taking care of brothers and sisters. Let's just all to it. Our overhead costs, like I said, we're going to keep things very low. We're going to be transparent. If you got any questions, you can dig right into it. It's like, hey, this is where, this is our balance sheet. This is where everything went, but we're going to keep our overhead as low as possible so everything can go back to our veterans and get people taken care of, and elevate them, not give them a hand up, or a hand out, but elevate, and change the image of way society looks at veterans, and they're like, oh, that guy's a veteran. This guy's squared away, instead of, oh, he's a veteran and, well, it's, okay, whatever. It's like they think less of us or whatever. They don't think of what we bring to the table, what we've learned. So, and costs could be down there. That's it.
Yeah, Joe, I agree with you, man. It doesn't matter how squared away you are. It doesn't matter if you're the number one soldier, sailor, Marine of your unit. When you get out, you're no longer that squared away Marine. You're now a veteran. And if you operate as you were operating in the military, outside in the civilian sector, it's not the same, and you're going to fall on your face.
Yep.
We all experience, no matter where you're at, man, in life, no matter, like, you could be set, you could have your financials all squared away, you could have your housing squared away, you could have your family relationships squared away. There's going to be a Murphy moment, man. There's going to be a Murphy moment. Everybody's going to have their darn Murphy moment. And it's just, people think that it's just going to be easy getting out, man. And it's not. It is not. It is not. They don't respect it, and they're going to end up on their face. Now, there are some people, and I've met them, they're unicorns, that everything has worked out perfectly fine for them. And, I would have to argue that they were very good at planning.
Yeah. Well, like also Yogi said, reaching out to try to find all these, benefits or all these organizations that pose to be, available for us. So if we have that Murphy moment, stuff like that, it's like, who do I reach out to? Because I can't trust anybody. I don't know where to turn, and it's at one of those things. It's very difficult for a veteran to run into that Murphy unit and then not know what to do, don't have anybody to reach out to, and this is where, Chris has noticed that a while back, about, hey, this is a black hole here that we don't have filled. And then, we get people together like, Ed and, myself and the rest of the team, and we all see the same mission that needs to be taken care of, and, we'll get it taken care of. But like you said, the unicorns, are out there, but that's not everybody, So we got to take care of the rest of the guys.
Those unicorns could help take care of the rest of us, and that's it. Doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you have a good transition or not. We all miss that camaraderie that we have.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you run away to the furthest remote location in the United States, you still have that, man. Like I miss that time that I had with my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah.
I miss that. A lot of people strive to fill that void with unhealthy things.
Yeah. Well, our poll that we did a while back, that poll that we did a while back shows the camaraderie. So go ahead.
I want to say that. I want to say that actually the organization that we actually created actually solves that problem for me, which is amazing because I've been to other organizations, I've been in everything else, but I've never talked to veterans in my life for the last 4 years that I got out. Besides you guys, like literally, like this actually started something new, and I'm not even just talk, but actually help each other out, and feel like Mr. Finch is like a father to me, and Joe's like a father to me, But specifically, Mr. Finch, he had a specific goal, a little something that's special is the business aspect, right? But no matter what, that camaraderie of feeling like we're back in the military, in the armed forces, it's there. And it's this system. The reason I think it works that way is because we mimic the military. Our rank structure is mimicked on the military. Yes, our active duty version will have, if you were a Navy officer or a Navy personnel or an Air Force, that's your real rank, because we don't want people to fraternize and mess up the military structure. So we want to make sure your rank is your rank. But on the civilian side, we did a more cost-effective solution of sticking with the Army because it's the largest branch, and on top of that, our command structures. So that camaraderie also applies to what you want to do in life. So if you want to help somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder, we have our MedCom command, right? For example, we voted in individual who owns 9 to 5 club, No More 9 to 5 club, into the MedCom command. We voted in Clayton Sims, the CivDiv individual, into the Special Forces Command. He has over 30,000 veteran followers, following his VA claims, right? We're getting every person, whether an influencer or impact company or impact organization like yourselves, everybody's coming along with us, and we want everybody to continue to spear together, man. So there we go. Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
You're good, dude.
We're just listening.
Yeah, we were
listening.
Well, we were all in the chat saying, "Hey, let's trick Chris really quick and act really slow and still."
We were waiting though for the 1.0 to click with the 2.0 so that it can neutralize. And Trey.
But that's one of the biggest things. It really hit home with me, and it said, "Wow, okay, I'm going to stick with this program. I'm not going to step out yet." Like as Mr. Finch said, we can be in 4 to 8 years. We're mimicking the United States military, but also the executive branch as well, since presidency, vice presidency, Senate, right? So we're trying to mimic our constitutional United States, right, on as well. So that way we can move on. Joe can get voted in, or Yogi can become the VP, or Chris 2.0 can become the president of HUNDO. That way, why? Because it's always fresh, and corruption always corrupts ultimately. So if no matter what, we want to make sure, and being that this is a generational thing that we're trying to solve over 2,500 years of written history, right? Since the last time you were actually given the proper treatment as a veteran was during the Roman era. You would get property, land. You would, after your military service, you would be given a tremendous amount of. You would be given a stipend. You would be given all these other things as a military service member to its nation, right? That hasn't happened in 2,500 years. The United States comes the closest. You know, you get property taxes if you're 100% disabled, right? But if you're not, but you served your country and those kind of things, right? And giving to the democratic world, you know. So we're trying to do our part on an educational way to solve that problem, and setting people up for success. Because we can't be the government. We can't be the United States government. We can't be the Roman Empire. We can't be the other organizations. We don't have the capability, but we have another way to do it. Is to make sure to uplift you to the next level and being able to do it together on that camaraderie level.
And I know we talked about a little bit during the, and I'm sidetracking a little bit, but a friend of ours who's also been on the podcast, Charles McKinney, he's really close to you, Ed. He's actually in England. So we already have a community out there, and we have service members that have been and have left and retired outside of the United States, right? Some are in the Philippines, some are in Japan, some of them are in the Guam and other communities. But part of his vision was also not to just make it the American Armed Forces resources, but also the military and the veterans across the world from all the branches, as you mentioned earlier on our one-on-one podcast, about being able to bring some of the service members that you guys had already served with in previous times to be able to come here and be a part of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've set up our organization to serve those who've served in the United States military, but we recognize that veterans are all over the world, and the important part for us is that we want to establish ourselves and establish our systems so that we can reach veterans all over the world. That's our big vision. We want to get to that point. It's going to take time. It's going to take huge resources. The thing is not to rush that. So that's the important bit. But yes, the way that veterans are treated all over the world is pretty similar. The issues are similar. The issues are huge. As Chris mentioned, the politics side, it's not only that we don't want to be a government, we don't want to get involved heavily in politics. We want to stay away from the political system and not getting too involved in that. But inevitably, we're going to attract political attention because of the work that we're doing. But yes, veterans move all over the world. They serve in one country, even in active duty, as you all well know, you're serving all over the world. The object of this is, how do we reach all of those veterans? How do we reach the 3 million active duty American military personnel serving all over the world? Well, it's a big challenge, and we have got ways of doing that. We have planned it, and we have got the ability to do that over time, and we will get there as quickly as we can, making sure that we do a solid job of it. But yeah, as Chris was saying, the issues are huge. The issues are thousands of years old. We've only been going a few months already, but we're building a solid foundation, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there fast.
Vince, can you pick up how why it's important, also why we go slow but also go fast, because veteran lives are at risk right now? Can you reiterate on that, please? I think we lost. Can you hear me?
The signal is carrying across the pond to the other pond. So there's a slight delay and there's some feedback. He's moving, he's alive, but he's muted. And he's coming. And we're moving.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example that we live globally. We live globally, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mr.
Yeah.
Fitch, could you explain that about our fastest slow, slowest fast system that veteran lives are currently at risk, and why we're trying to hurry up as quick as we can, but also moving deliberately as slow as we can?
Yeah, the important part is that we're very conscious of the saddest part of all is the suicide rates. And somebody's taking their lives about every minute and a half. Somebody takes their life, a veteran takes their life, and that is very hard to bear. It's a very hard fact, and that makes us want to speed up. But the fact is, we owe it to those veterans to take the time necessary to do things right, to put into place the right foundations. We owe it to all the future veterans whose lives are at risk one way or another to make sure that we get this right and we put into place all the resources, a solid foundation, that we make sure that we've brought in as many partner organizations as possible so that we can meet all of the veterans' needs in one place by working collectively, by being collective, by bringing all the resources, all the organizations. You mentioned how many non-profits there are out there. Well, not all of those want to work together. It's just the truth. Not all of them want to work together, and it's endemic across the world. Those that are happy to work together, those that do share the same vision, are more than welcome to come and join us. And this is not us wanting to take control. This is us wanting to work in partnership. There's a key question that we always ask every partner organization that comes to us. And we ask a similar question to every member. We're not asking what can you do for us? What can you do for the veteran community? We're asking, what do you need in return? What can we do for you? We ask that of organizations who want to come work with us and support veterans, the same as we ask people, the members, the veterans who come join us. We say, yeah, would you like to support the veteran community? What can you do for the veteran community? And we ask also, what can we do for you? And how can we help you achieve your aspirations for your life and where you want to go? So when organizations join us, we want to know how we can empower them with all the resources we've got. And there's different ways. Some organizations just want to increase their reach to reach more veterans. Some organizations need support with marketing and publicity or organization development. It could be all kinds of things. It doesn't matter. Share what you need, and if it's in our power, we will share that with you and we'll help you. But we're working together for the same goals. We want to make sure that we do that and we do it solidly, and we make sure that we're not letting people down. Sadly, there are going to be lives lost. People are going to take their lives in the meantime. We can't avoid that. It weighs heavily on our minds. But if we don't get this right, far more lives will be lost. So it's very, very important that we get this right and we get it solidly built and we move forward together and solve this problem once and for all.
And that's a very, very big problem to solve, right? And as you mentioned, this is not something that any one of us can do by ourselves. For anyone that has listened to this before, I myself have struggled with SI for over 15 years due to incidents in the military. However, it's the only way that I found to be able to cope with that was by um, helping out the rest of my service members uh, deal with that. And you unfortunately, you cannot be empathetic or sympathetic really unless you have really struggled with it yourself. Um, because you really have no idea where that's coming from, right? You can have all the training in the world, but it doesn't resonate. And with that, it's very difficult to talk about that problem. It's very difficult to address that problem. But having the support out there that really cares is one of the most important steps that we can take in order to take that, and then having a wide net and a wide reach. With that, I mean, some of the resources for anyone that is struggling or who is going through crisis, the veteran helpline 988. Please, 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 please reach out and ask for help if you or someone that you know is struggling. Also, do your service member or veteran a solid. This is very, depending on who you talk to, is very controversial. A lot of people will say, "Hey, don't ever get the emergency response team members involved or other things." However, I would disagree, right? The reason why I would disagree with that is because one, especially if they're not close to you, you will not be able to get there in time, or have someone get there in time, especially if they don't answer the phone or are there with them. And then two, at the end of the day, we can provide as much support as we can, but we're not trained professionals. And we don't want to be part of the problem. We want to be part of the solution. And yes, some you may or may not lose some friends allegedly if you call um, the emergency responders. But at the end of the day, I personally will be happy knowing that that service member, that veteran, um, was taken care of, even if they don't want to speak to me forever, versus having to carry in my conscience the fact that I didn't have the strength to call an emergency responder. So again, if this is something that you're struggling with, or you know someone that is struggling with, please do yourself and do them a favor and help them out with the right help, right? Don't keep it to yourself. Don't hide it. Don't try to deal with it. Uh, if they're dealing with it, you don't know why. You're not a trained professional. And even if you are, but if you're too close to home, if let's say it's your partner or your best friend, you're emotionally entangled with them. Get someone else, a third party, to be able to help. Sorry, I digressed. I went into more of a different track, but it's important that we address that because it's a huge struggle that we face.
Yeah, we partnered with other organizations such as Vet Talk and other organizations that if you just want to talk to somebody or things like that. We also have on our websites the hotlines that are trained professionals, medical professionals, and things like that. So we know exactly our limitations and where we need to improve also as an organization. So um, totally cool.
Yeah. Hey, I really do appreciate you guys coming on here. I know Yogi also appreciate you guys coming on here and being part of the MIL2VET tribe. And I definitely look forward to working with you guys and being a part of the community that welcomes veterans back into the community, and also as a resource where those who are going into the military can start getting their overall plan, and those transitioning service members can start learning from veteran stories that you guys all gave a little bit of your story for them to glean some stuff from. So I really do appreciate you guys coming on here with me. And one thing that really I just want to make sure that everybody hears is the community that comes together and welcomes those veterans back is a strong community. And we, being veterans, are part of that community. And instead of just sitting around wondering when it's going to happen, let's just start doing something about it. Let's be that change.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you want to become a leader, guess what? We cultivate leaders too. That's all we do. We literally cultivate leaders. We have manuals that are meant to cultivate those leaders ready to take on the next challenges. Not everybody's willing to do it, but guess what? We can be motivated. So thank you so much, Chris Point 2.0. Appreciate it. Hey, he's the upgraded version of me.
Okay, I'm sure that's what you originally meant, right?
That is going to stick. That's for sure. That is going to stick.
Well, I think we're going to have a long-lasting relationship, MIL2VET and HUNDO, absolutely, because you guys do a fantastic job. You guys are doing wonderful things for veterans and society on a whole, having a social impact as well. So I think without a doubt, we're going to be having a strategic relationship for a long time because you guys are going to be hopefully the tip of the spear for us go listen to this podcast if you really want to know what's going on in as a veteran or active duty. And as you brought up, Yogi, that we want to create not just the United States, but the United States is our first trial and make sure it gets done correctly. We also want to apply this to the 31 allied nations, our system that is effective and efficient. So once we are 100% voted in, again, that democracy system that, hey, we're ready to take on our other allies, Canada, France, England, and rebuild those individuals, we're going to just project the first world nation into like the future Star Trek level stuff. So we're just going to be cyborg type level, We're going to become the Borg, I think, as Mr. Finch used to say.
Yeah, that's all awesome. Yogi, does anybody have any last words before we close out the live today?
I'm jealous of that coffee.
Oh, just want to thank you guys.
That coffee mug, I'm jealous. I don't got that one.
You see any resemblance?
It's got MIL2VET on the bottom. Did you see the bottom? You go on the bottom. It
got magically refilled. So here we go.
What do you got, Joe?
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really quick before we dart out of here, you guys want to run into MIL2VET. We have some organizations that we're going to go support and vet out. One that we're vetting right now, live online, is HUNDO Club. All right, go take a look at them. You see all their information scrolling at the bottom. Please make sure that you guys check out the resources. And if you don't need it, why don't you just share it with somebody that you know that probably does need it? And shoot, even throw your information at them and say, hey, I'm in this area and I could help out if needed. That just doing that, being a member. And so that way, if there's somebody in need in your immediate area, you could be the change for someone that needs it. HUNDO Club is a great organization. And there's some future events that are coming up. If you want to look at what our episodes are going to be doing, go to MIL2VET.com. Take a look at our calendar. You can see whose episodes are going to be releasing. We just started advertising that. I want to do a shout out to an organization that I plan on attending. We are going to be at the Veteran Resource Fair at the Tacoma Dome. When I say we, I mean myself. Yogi, I don't think is going to make an appearance
Him and
But it's
MIL2VET, which is 1-1.
yeah. So we will be there at the Tacoma Dome, and this will also be in our calendar as well. So take a look at that. Join the MIL2VET newsletter and find out more resources that are out there that you may not know about. So let's see, Yogi, you got any closing words, brother?
Hundo Club, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this, and thank you for trying to be a part of the solution. And then we want to make sure that we keep on improving, being part of the ability to continue to grow and be successful and be part of the change that we want in the world. So again, thank you so much, and can't wait to continue growing with y'all. Joe, thank you. I know you were part of the service a little while back. Thank you for still staying engaged. Chris, AKA as your name said, 1.0. Thank you. Thank you for
Yogi, you
starting
changed
this.
my name.
Wait, what
I
happened?
didn't even
What
notice it. You got me.
I saw that.
I'm like, son of a
Hey,
gun. Seriously.
we just made history. We just made history, gentlemen. We just
Oh,
made
man.
history.
Ed, thank you for being helpful across the pond. Thank you for wanting to make a change and continuing to, again, do something for us and be a part of us. So, without further ado, thank you again, and we'll stay connected. We'll see what we can do to make the change that needs to be made.
No one left behind. That's it.
Absolutely.
And one last thing, President John F. Kennedy said, if you want to do something for your country, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I think every single one of us is doing that from the bottom of our heart.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Copy that.
Chris, take us out.
All right, brothers and sisters. Hey, it's your transition. It is not all rainbows and unicorn. Take charge of your transition. MIL2VET out.